Stop scrolling, because what just happened with Social Security is catching even longtime experts completely off guard. A new rule tied to Donald Trump's policy framework is quietly reshaping how benefits could work going forward, and the implications are bigger than anyone expected. Analysts are scrambling, retirees are confused, and millions of Americans may soon feel the impact in their monthly checks. Here's the shocking part. This isn't just another headline-grabbing proposal that fades away. This change targets the core mechanics of Social Security itself: how benefits are calculated, who gains the most, and who could be left out. Some experts say it could unlock higher payouts for certain groups, while others warn it may permanently alter expectations for future retirees. Either way, the silence around this update is what's raising eyebrows. No loud press conference, no clear explanation, just a rule adjustment with massive ripple effects. If you rely on Social Security now or plan to in the future, this is something you can't afford to ignore. Could this mean more money in your pocket? Or stricter rules down the line? Why are policy analysts calling it unexpected, strategic, and even game-changing? And most importantly, why are so few people talking about it right now? In this video, we break down what this new rule really means, why experts are stunned, and how it could affect your financial future sooner than you think. Stay with us, because once you understand what's happening, you'll see why this update has everyone on edge. If you want to stay informed and ahead of the curve, hit that like button right now. It helps more people see this critical update. Alright, let's get into this. Because once you understand what's really happening here, it completely changes how you look at Social Security, politics, and your own financial future. Right after that shocking hook, the first thing we need to clear up is this. This new Social Security rule didn't come out of nowhere, and it's not just political noise. What's leaving experts speechless isn't only what the rule does, but how quietly it's being positioned and how strategic the timing is. For decades, Social Security has been treated like an untouchable system, slow to change, heavily debated, and publicly fought over. But this update follows a very different playbook. Instead of loud promises, it works through structure, interpretation, and long-term impact. At the center of the discussion is how benefits are calculated, adjusted, and protected, or not protected, depending on who you are, when you retire, and how long you live. Under Trump's renewed policy direction, the emphasis shifts toward sustainability and efficiency, two words that sound harmless on the surface but carry massive consequences beneath them. Experts immediately notice that the language avoids direct benefit cuts, yet opens doors to changes that could feel like cuts for some people and boosts for others. This is where the shock sets in. Analysts expected bold announcements or dramatic proposals. Instead, they're seeing subtle recalibrations, rules that change how cost of living adjustments are applied, how future projections are framed, and how eligibility thresholds might evolve over time. For current retirees, this creates uncertainty. For future retirees, it creates urgency. And for policymakers, it creates plausible deniability. Here's why people are paying attention now. Social Security is already under strain. The trust fund conversation hasn't gone away. Everyone knows the system faces pressure from longer life expectancy, fewer workers per retiree, and rising costs. What Trump's new rule does is reframe the solution. Instead of raising taxes immediately or cutting checks outright, it focuses on slowing growth, tightening formulas, and redefining fairness. That's the part experts didn't expect to happen so quietly. If you're already collecting benefits, you might be wondering whether this affects you directly. The honest answer is, not all at once, but over time, yes, potentially. Small formula changes don't look dramatic in year one, but over 5, 10, or 15 years, they add up. That's why financial experts are uneasy. They understand that Social Security isn't just about today's payment, it's about predictability, and predictability is exactly what this rule disrupts. For people approaching retirement, the stakes are even higher. Decisions about when to claim benefits, whether to work longer, and how to plan savings all depend on assumptions. When those assumptions change, even slightly, the entire strategy shifts. This new rule introduces enough uncertainty that advisors are already revisiting long-standing guidance. That alone should tell you how serious this is. Now let's talk about why supporters are praising the move. They argue that the system has needed modernization for years. They say tough choices are unavoidable and that gradual adjustments are better than sudden shocks later. From that perspective, this rule is framed as responsible, forward-looking, and necessary. It's designed to prevent a crisis before it happens. And politically, that's a powerful argument. But critics see something else entirely. They see a slow erosion of guaranteed growth. They worry about lower-income retirees being hit hardest over time. They question whether efficiency becomes a code word for reduced obligations. And they're especially concerned about how this rule could set a precedent, making future changes easier, quieter, and less transparent. What really fuels the fear of missing out here is this. Most people won't realize what changed until they feel it. There won't be a single moment where alarms go off. Instead, checks arrive that are slightly smaller than expected. Adjustments don't keep pace the way they used to. Projections shift downward, and by the time it becomes obvious, the rule is already embedded into the system. This is exactly why experts are speechless. Not because they don't understand the rule, but because they understand it too well. They see how carefully it's structured. They see how it avoids political backlash while still reshaping the system. And they see how difficult it will be to reverse once fully implemented. Another layer to this story is timing. With elections, economic uncertainty, and public trust already stretched thin, Social Security changes carry enormous emotional weight. People depend on these benefits not as a bonus, but as a lifeline. Any hint that the rules are changing triggers anxiety. And yet, this update moves forward with minimal public discussion, which only intensifies the concern. You might be asking yourself right now, what am I supposed to do with this information? And that's the right question. The answer isn't panic, but it is awareness. Understanding how Social Security rules evolve helps you make smarter choices. It influences when you claim, how you save, and how you prepare for retirement. Ignoring these changes doesn't protect you from them. There's also a psychological factor at play. When people believe Social Security is stable and predictable, they plan accordingly. When that belief is shaken, behavior changes. Some may claim earlier out of fear, others may delay, hoping for better terms. This ripple effect can impact the system itself, creating feedback loops that policymakers absolutely consider. And let's be honest, this isn't just about Trump. This is about a broader shift in how Social Security is handled. Trump's rule reflects a philosophy that future administrations may build on. That's why this moment matters. It's not isolated. It's directional. And once a direction is set, reversing it becomes politically and economically difficult. As this unfolds, you'll hear a lot of noise online. Some voices will exaggerate, others will downplay. What matters is staying grounded in what the rule actually does. It changes the framework, not the headline number. It affects the math, not the message, and math is where real impact lives. So as you watch this video, understand that you're ahead of the curve simply by paying attention. Most people won't dig into this until it affects them personally. By then, options may be limited. Awareness now gives you flexibility later. The bottom line is this: Social Security is entering a new phase, one where changes are quieter, more technical, and more strategic. Trump's new rule is a signal of that shift. Whether you see it as responsible reform or a risky gamble depends on your perspective. But either way, ignoring it isn't an option. That's why this conversation matters. That's why experts are reacting so strongly. And that's why you should stay engaged, informed, and proactive. Because when it comes to your financial future, the biggest risk isn't change. It's being caught off guard by it. If this breakdown helped you understand what's really going on, make sure you show your support. Tap the like button right now so more people can see this information and stay ahead of what's coming next.